You're listening to the We Are Libertarians podcast network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com.
Prepare yourself. You're on the run with Remso W. Martinez.
All right, ladies, I really don't have an introduction. I just want an excuse to bring you both back on. So here's a question to kind of get things started. It is 60 degrees in my apartment. At what point should I turn up the thermostat?
For me, it would have been as soon as it hit below 70.
My rule is under 65.
Okay, well, both of you are wrong. I'm just like, no, thank God this is a podcast. No one can see that I have 5 blankets on and I look like a Russian grandmother.
But also you're a guy, so you have higher body heat.
I'm from Arizona. It gets below 70 and I immediately start thinking it's like the day after tomorrow. No, that's why I miss about Virginia, at least. It had seasons. Whereas Wisconsin, it's just like, oh, it's May. Let's go ahead and throw you a Lake Michigan winter vortex special. There's nothing I could do about it. But anyway, folks, welcome back. I guess I have to go ahead and introduce things because every episode is somebody's first episode. We are talking about Christmas. We did our Christmas special last week with Sean and Zed from the Degenerate panel. Derek was out at a wedding because obviously he chose his family over us, which I'm very pissed about. But we'll let that slide. So I wanted to go ahead and keep things going with Christmas because I was looking back at the last year and I realized that for 2020 I didn't do a Christmas special. I always do Halloween. I always make sure to go ahead and do something for Thanksgiving. So I thought, why not go ahead and do a couple of Christmas themed episodes? And I've got some awesome ladies here tonight who you just heard with their terrible answers about how to properly heat your apartment. I get a little bit triggered when it comes to the difference in the sexes when it comes to temperature tolerance. What I hated was working in DC during the summer, like around July. That's when it's like it's most humid, and you really realize that all of DC is actually built on a swamp. And like most men, I would have to wear a suit, and that's never fun when you walk outside and it's like you're immediately drenched and looking like you're like a heroin addict or something. But what would really suck is I would sit in a row of cubicles with people and I'd want to go ahead and turn on the fan or turn on the AC. And then I'd have one of my female colleagues who I all love them. But during this case, I wanted to, smack them like LL Cool J. They'd be like, I'm sorry, it's like so cold in here. And it's like, okay, listen, you're wearing a dress, which is just like a single piece of fabric, and it's 97 degrees plus hell outside, and I'm wearing 3 layers and a necktie to look, quote, professional, and I want to turn up the AC a little bit, and you're complaining about that?
I think sometimes, though, offices are just unnecessarily cold.
What do you consider unnecessarily cold?
I would say below like 68.
68.
It's also like in the heat of the summer, you are spending so much money to just crank up that AC. And realistically, most businesses don't care about you. They care about money. And they would save money if they just like had the AC on less. So I'm like, not only do you not care about me, you also don't even care about money because it's like you're spending so much money to crank up the AC just like an ungodly amount. So it's like, what are the rules here? I don't know,
I don't disagree with your answer, Rachel. I actually hate it. Like the one thing that we keep seeing online and through all these like entrepreneurial gurus is how to keep the workforce happy. And when you've got an office full of men and they are having to wear a suit and tie, and yeah, they'll throw off the jacket every once in a while. Maybe they'll wear a polo they got to tuck in. You turn that AC on. Like that's how you get like, third world country military juntas. Could you imagine how nicer South America would be if it just got a little bit colder? Because I've seen this study before. I think Dave Ramsey went ahead and threw it out randomly one time. He was like, in the summer, murders rise in major cities. Now imagine how most of the world is hot as sin. And imagine what would happen if you could just lower the temperature a little bit. You could cure sectarian violence. You would have a Muslim and a Jew eating a pork rib, and they're thinking, wow, 60 degrees really solved a lot of our problems.
So you're saying we should reverse global warming into global cooling to solve world peace?
I would totally team up with Al Gore on that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think 68 degrees or 69 degrees, like between that. Okay, let's say 65 to 70 degrees is the perfect temperature. If we could keep most environments like that, that would be so amazing.
Okay, I think that's what you should run on. You should run for president and be like, we're going to keep Chicago a nice 65 degrees in the summer and make it not Chirac anymore.
You say that, and I immediately can hear somebody saying, colder weather is racist.
Yeah.
I just can't win. None of this has to do with Christmas. I might as well throw this out there. I'm glad you two were able to make the time to come on tonight.
Oh, always. Very busy schedules, but you're a priority. So.
Oh, thank you. Somebody's throwing shit in the apartment upstairs. They're.
I bet they're.
I'll edit this out because I want people to understand what I'm dealing with. They're stomping up and down. They probably have their thermostat at 70, and they just realize they're going to panic.
And you took it out of my mouth. So sad.
When it comes to Christmas, I'm basic. I love everything about it, except Hallmark movies. I don't understand why they keep coming out with them. And apparently Hallmark actually has 35 films in production at a single time during the year. And I just wonder who the heck is watching these. I know one of the answers. One of them is my father, and I can't explain it.
My mom watches them. We should set them up.
I don't know.
My parents are married.
That sounds like a good old Christmas homework.
That sounds like a Hallmark movie. Christmas with the Homewreckers.
Oh, wow.
You never know. It was a 50-50 chance that your parents were divorced. So I had to keep my shot.
You're not wrong about the odds on that. Good job, America.
Good job. Good job, America. And good job, Megan. I will say I don't like Hallmark Christmas movies, but I have watched a couple of like the Netflix original Christmas movies that are terrible, but I'll still watch them occasionally.
They're basically Hallmark movies though.
Yeah, but I don't have Hallmark. I don't, because it's Freeform now, right? I think they changed their name anyways, but I don't have like access to that. So I have Netflix. That's what I use. But anyways, I feel like it's just, I think people like Hallmark movies because one, they're so like unrealistic that you can't get pissed off because there's no way it would have happened anyways. It's not like, oh, you could kind of believe it and then something unrealistic happens at the end. It's like none of it makes sense. So you're never like fully emotionally or like tied or invested in it. So I feel like it's just like for fun. It's almost like sci-fi really, where it's like there are no like the laws of physics don't apply in a Hallmark movie. You know what I mean? But in terms of like relationships and socioeconomic statuses and whatnot. Like you can be a baker and fall in love with a baker who somehow owns their own shop at like, 20 and falls in love with a CEO from wherever. And like that works in that movie. There are no lines. There are no like everyone is just
that's the limit.
Yeah, they're really, really. It's like no one would ever swipe left on you in a Hallmark movie.
No, because every dude is an Abercrombie and Fitch model.
Yeah.
Who's like actually nice to you. Like, I'm sorry, but those don't go hand in hand. Like, they just don't. You can't be attractive and nice as a man. Hot take.
Damn, that came out of nowhere.
We really switched up the convo.
Here are the three things about Hallmark movies that I do agree with you on are completely unrealistic. One, it's entire communities where there are absolutely no minorities.
Yeah.
You may have one black person in a Hallmark movie, the token black person, and they're always dishing out Christmas wisdom.
That's true.
That's the role they fill, and there can only be one, because if there were two, the community would fall apart because they would say there's too many black people. So that's the issue I see with Hallmark movies. Completely unrealistic about America's demographic changes. Secondly, it's always people with really shitty businesses who don't understand why their businesses are going out of style or going out of business. So here's the thing. I wrote a Hallmark movie when I was unemployed one time for fun, because you can actually submit Hallmark movie ideas to Hallmark.
No.
Did it get picked?
Yeah. No, they didn't pick it.
I should just write about like all my old relationships, but then put like a happy ending on them and just send it.
Were they all with like attractive men who are horrible?
Well, they weren't attractive, but
so if they weren't, then they should have been
horrible.
nice. By your logic, they weren't attractive, so they should have been nicer. But no, I called it. It was a short script. It was like 30 pages, because Hallmark movies are written at a second grade level, which is another thing. It was called A Very Ginger Christmas, and it had nothing to do with redheads. Well, I mean, I thought Isla Fisher or Amy Adams could have been the lead, but it's about a woman who inherits her father's gingerbread men factory. And basically, she doesn't understand why she can't sell gingerbread houses and gingerbread cookies out of season. Like, why is no one buying them in like July or something like that? Because she's smart. And like, it's at the point where not enough people are feeling the Christmas spirit, that even during the holidays, when she would typically make enough money for the year, she's not making up the sales. So it's May. There's going to be an out of season Hallmark movie. Probably why they didn't pick it, because I was pushing the limits a bit. It takes place in May.
That's when Jesus was actually born, though. So it's a politically correct.
I could dig it now. I got to pull out the script and redraft it. It's like this was intentionally done for Jesus. So it's May, and she's got to go ahead and close down the gingerbread factory or whatever the hell she's doing, because it's always ambiguous as to what it really is. And next thing you know, a lawyer coming down from New York to visit his sister gets hit by a parade of children, which I have to probably change because of the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not going to say it out loud. Like the whole thing. Basically, he walks into the middle of the street and this band like doesn't see him, so they just walk over him, and it's kind of violent, but he gets amnesia. And he just, like, a guy from the gingerbread factory picks him up and thinks that, you know, he's like this agent who's going to represent them. So this guy ends up basically working for free at this factory, and then he's really hot. So she falls in love with him because the two attractive people in the town have to meet up with each other. And then he suddenly starts to remember his lawyer skills. So he starts finding like all these legal loopholes to get like tax deductions for small women-owned businesses, because it's got to be progressive at some point. So the Small Business Bureau, so the Small Business Bureau basically gives her a giant loan that she's never going to be able to pay off. So she'll write it off as a loss, and she'll continue to keep going. But then he remembers that he's actually a lawyer from New York who was sent by the bank to close down her business.
No.
So that's how it is. And he's also engaged to this super hot lady who's also a real bitch. So he has to decide whether he's going to stick with this like government bailout gingerbread factory, or if he's going to go back to being a lawyer. But he's already fallen in love with either Isla Fisher or Amy Adams. So eventually he just feels the spirit of Christmas, and he chooses her, and he becomes like the new legal representative for the factory. And long story short, no lessons are learned. In fact,
is his fiance like a tall, skinny blonde? Because
yes.
I kind of, that's what I'm envisioning that.
Yes.
It. Really can't.
Wait, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I would entirely watch that movie 100%.
It's so interesting, especially all the tax loopholes. Like, I would like to know those. You know?
Yeah, like
I would be taking notes.
It's based enough to keep like a good traditional conservative audience, but it's progressive enough to make the Small Business Bureau a hero, because you've got to cut it in the middle for these movies, because they can't anger too many people, but they can't like make people like too comfortable, because then you're pissing off somebody else. So it's right in the middle of a confused America, and it makes everything better.
What location is this set in?
North Carolina.
Okay. I was thinking it'd be more Midwest vibes. That's kind of what I got.
No, because she's ultra stupid, which is why they have a gingerbread factory in North Carolina,
I feel like
which
they're
was
all
failing.
like low key.
Okay.
Huh?
Like Nicholas Sparks, that's the one that was always in North Carolina. I just feel like romantic stuff's always like North Carolina. Maybe
Which
that's
why. Speaking of heat, it would be a hotter state.
Which doesn't make sense for gingerbread. You'd want ice cream or something else.
Like Vermont, maybe, or the North Pole.
Ooh. Or Northeast kind of vibes would be cute.
It could be a mix of both because they're always extremely ambiguous. They never necessarily care about where the story takes place, and they always care about where the lead guy or gal is coming from. And it's always New York City.
Always.
True. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's if I were Hallmark, I would have picked that up in a heartbeat.
I've waited 3 years.
That.
Don't the Obamas?
Netflix is more like progressive anyway.
They would have to put in at least like 7 gay people.
Just change.
You know what? No, it would be
the main couple, and then
I would say
a
that
very gay ginger Christmas.
So
So you put it in the title, but you never say who's gay. So other than the main couple, you're just kind of like assuming.
No, I would say that it'd probably be like the second in line to like the gingerbread factory, like her like VP or something would probably be gay, right? And he would be the one to find out all this. He'd be the one like on the internet searching this guy, and he'd find out like he has a fiance. That's how I think that would
like Lisa, out. You wouldn't imagine who he happens to be engaged to. The woman trying to take over your gingerbread factory. It would have to be something like that. He'd have to sound gay. Like he's not explicitly gay because you can say he's the only gay man in town. So then you don't have to piss anyone else off by having a gay couple in a movie because that always does that. So you just have the single gay guy, but you never say he's gay. You just let the audience know you think he's gay because he is, but you don't have to say it. So you keep all the conservatives happy because I just want to make money off that thing. I'm like, you just got to cut it straight in the middle and just let it be because the story's stupid. And so are all the other stories. So it would be perfect.
I would see it. I mean, it has a lot more depth, I think, than the typical Hallmark movie.
I will say though, what is the duration? Because I think most Hallmark movies, it's like one weekend and then they are married.
I wrote it to be like 120 minutes. So like less than an hour and a half, but it could be cut down to like a 55-minute runtime.
No, but like how long does this take place of them falling in love? It has to be less than a week.
Oh, well, it takes place over the course of a couple of months because then it needs to end on Christmas. So it would start in the summer when the business is really in the slums. It's too long. No, because you do like a Rocky montage where he's like learning to cut out gingerbread men. And then they get through the summer when everyone is like you cram like 5 months into it and they're like randomly staring at each other. Like, will they, won't they? So then it's patient. So she's less of a predator because she's taking advantage of a man who's working for free. And he doesn't talk about money for like 6 months because he's loaded and he doesn't really think he has to. And he also has amnesia. So you can't make the woman look like the predator.
I just think that most Hallmark movies take place in an unrealistically short amount of time. And I think if you're doing a summer to winter, like 6 months is kind of long for a Hallmark movie.
This is not a Liberty University engagement.
I could think so. It would be that was funny. I almost think it would be better to do like the week before Christmas. Like she's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be our last Christmas. Like we
have to close down the gingerbread factory.
We have to close it down. This is our last season. It's like got the store closing front and everything. And then he saves it like right around Christmas. And then maybe it's like happy ending and you think everything's good and it's like so great. And then after Christmas, he gets his memory back and remembers he has the other girl. So then it's like on New Year's, they make up and get married, basically. Like
no, that actually is a great timeline. I like that. I will say though, I've noticed with all these Netflix ones that they always keep making what is it called? Sequels. where it's like somehow they will encounter the exact same problem a year later on Christmas and have to or a similar problem and have to solve it. So it's like you'd have to set it up, Remso, in a way where it's like the the loan might save her temporarily, but there has to be an opportunity for her to fail again and for their love to be tested.
Oh, here's this is the power of random thoughts. For the sequel, it's A Very Ginger Christmas, Homewrecker Eve.
Stop.
I'm just gonna put it there.
I don't think people will watch that.
because he ends up becoming the corporate head of this of the company, while she's more of the face of it because he's good at numbers, and she obviously isn't because she was running a gingerbread factory and all that stuff, and she ruined it. The small business loan will only go as far for women business owners. So what ends up happening is you introduce a new character. He's like this kid who is also kind of stupid, and he works at the factory, and his mom is recently divorced. Now, this is where you create the Hallmark cinematic universe. All the other Hallmark movies that are made exist as Hallmark movies in this story. So he walks into the guy's office and he's like, "Hey, boss, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just watching Hallmark movies. I love these movies." It's a wink at the audience. And then he's like, "You know who also loves Hallmark movies? My mother." So then he's trying to break up, his relationship. Yeah, he's trying to break him up because they've had this, they're not married yet. They've been in a long engagement. So he's like, if it's not married, it still counts. So he tries to hook him up with his mom, who's basically like a brunette version of the redhead Amy Adams, Isla Fisher type. And then, she basically comes in, and then it becomes this love triangle situation.
Is the mom financially distressed?
Yeah. So he takes pity on her. So because of this, the kid is like, "Listen, she likes Hallmark movies, and I saw you save this business. Can you save my mom's business? We'll just say that she runs a Christmas souvenir shop." So then as they start working together and she's like, "Oh my God, you saved my business." She put the moves on him because she's a predator. So then she comes in, and then it starts that whole will they, won't they thing. And he slips on banana peel and kisses her right as the other wife is coming in to drop off a plate of gingerbread cookies. So she's like, "You freaking cheater." And then I got to figure out the rest, but you make it. Yeah.
In order for it to end well, though, you're going to have to obviously get the main
kill one of the women.
But I was going to say, but you have to find someone for the divorced mom, because then everyone's going to feel bad for her at the end. She, lost her chance at love twice,
Maybe she's a divorced mom because she cheated on her husband or something.
Actually, you know what? She shouldn't be financially distressed. She should be emotionally distressed. Because if the financial distress was the plot of the first movie, I think for the second movie, she should be I don't know, where she has some emotional thing that he can relate to her because they had the same childhood trauma or something. And then that's how they bond. And then they get really close to each other.
She used to be the secretary of his ex-fiance, the tall, evil, blonde corporate lady from New York.
That's a little far-fetched.
Yeah, that's you have to really assume they all watched the first film to understand this.
Yeah, no, I would say that they both this is morbid, but they both lost their dad at a young age or something, and then they both can find you know what I mean. They have to be emotionally, I think, connected. And maybe that's why they like Hallmark movies, or and so because they really have never had a true family Christmas or something, and then they end up becoming emotionally dependent on each other and excluding the gingerbread.
Yeah.
woman.
Can you have cat fights in Hallmark films?
You can. I think they have to be more emotionally driven though than physically.
Okay, what if I actually want violence?
I don't think you can do that. It could be something dramatic where it's it could be where it's she like the rose part, like the hot glue gun for the gingerbread, like at her or whatever, and it like doesn't really hit her, but maybe it like grazes her, like
it scars her.
But not super dramatic, like in a very small way. And then I don't know, like he sees it on her wrist, like, who did that to you? And she's like, your fiance. But then because they have the emotional connection, he starts thinking his fiance is like crazy. You know what I mean? Because he has the emotional connection with the divorcee.
The other lady.
I'm invested in this, so I'm invested.
We should just crowdfund this movie.
Honestly, yeah.
This like gingerbread house like village, and the other lady like comes in and just like smashes all the gingerbread.
Yes. No. Wait. There's a big competition where she's gonna like. It's going to be like a charity competition, right? Where it's like whoever, all these different businesses are building gingerbread houses. And the divorcee sabotages her house. And so it's like on the eve of like this competition. And then they, you know what I mean? Like it has to be something like that.
Honestly, that reminds me, I was honestly inspired by that. I have to give credit to where I got this idea of like smashing the gingerbread house from. But in the most recent Taylor Swift music video,
I still haven't seen it.
Should I not give it away then? I'm going.
No, you can talk about it.
I'm never gonna watch it, so go away. I mean, so shoot away.
So the song is called I Bet You Think About Me. And it takes place at like her ex's wedding. Like everyone's in white and it's all like pretty. And she's in this bright red dress because this song was on her re-release of her iconic album Red. And so she like is standing by the wedding cake and she randomly like just takes like a huge chunk like in her fist and it comes out and it's like a red velvet cake like inside. So it was just like there's all these hints of red, but it's like it's funny because I don't think she's actually there. It's like all in the guy's head because it's like the song's like I bet
emotional abuse.
So she's like she's literally like, yeah, it's your wedding day, but you're thinking about me, like you wish you were still with me, kind of thing.
Okay, I think I found a way to like merge all that. We cast the leading guy as Pete Davidson.
No.
And then we take another turn. He's not just a guy who loves Christmas. He's Mormon. So his solution is to just marry both women.
No, that's too controversial.
It's time that Hallmark stands for something. It's progressive-ish. It's
Mormon, though.
Huh?
Wait, are you Mormon? You're not Mormon. I was gonna say people don't like Mormon.
Have you listened to this show?
I was like, I know you're not, but I'm like, what if you are?
I just think it would only work if it was like he marries both of them, but they are both like they both can like convert or like it has to be, you know what I mean? Like it can't just be, oh, he marries both of them because that would seem almost sacrilegious. So then you have to kind of.
But he's smart, so he finds a loophole to make both of them dependents on his taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you have to figure most women are like your target audience, and we don't care about that kind of thing. Like we just want love. I mean, like Rash and I do, but we're like, financial. Yeah,
this whole thing is taking a skew. I got to rewind on that. I think making the guy Pete Davidson, like every attractive woman in Hollywood seems to be going out with Pete Davidson now.
I forget what he looks like. Let's see.
I would say make Pete Davidson.
Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about.
You know he's going out with Kim Kardashian now?
Yeah.
He got his Christmas early.
First of all, I'm a Kimye stan. I want Kanye and Kim to get back together. I just think it made sense. I like them together. I just can't, I don't know. I feel like all the Kardashians now are dating these like weird people just to be edgy because they're losing their relevance. So they're like, oh, like Kim Kardashian's, I mean, I guess she could, but she's like, I don't want to make another sex tape. So I'm just going to date this guy who's not in my league at all just to like make money. I mean, it's a great business move by her. So.
Pete Davidson though?
But because people who are Pete Davidson fans are most likely not really Kim Kardashian. Who are
Pete Davidson fans?
I don't know. Random.
I don't know how this guy gets around so much.
I always just think of him as like the one that Ari like dumped. And like all his songs are about from that good album.
He's dated multiple people. He dated that girl from Bridgerton. I think it was Daphne or something. But
what about this? A Very Yeezy Christmas.
I think that's a completely different story. That's a great one that we can. That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Project.
A very controversial rapper gets divorced with this woman who's famous for really no reason, and she starts going out with Pete Davidson.
At least you got the New York element of it.
Yeah. So then what he has to do is he has to find a way to win her back. So basically what we're doing is we're making a movie that Kanye would watch, so then he would figure out what to do to get back together.
So we're really saving their marriage.
Which is the real reason for Christmas. not really, but kinda. I mean, it's within the realm. He can own a gingerbread shop.
I don't know.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I think without
I don't think we needed to tie the gingerbread. I think the gingerbread story is a great one, but it has to exist on its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's strong enough to exist on its own. Can we get into another controversial topic?
Yes, and it still has to do with Hallmark movies, but this will be the last question I ask about this.
Okay.
Why is it when women in Hallmark films find out that the guy has a fiance, they don't stop going after them? Because if the roles were reversed, you'd be like, oh, that chick is ruining that relationship. But because she's the main character, it's, oh yeah, ruin that relationship. And then we all just go with it.
I think it's because the whole premise of Hallmark movies is that love or whatever like conquers all these things that it doesn't actually conquer. And because I mean, think it's like these people of like, oh, like two people who would never actually be together are together because of Hallmark love. So because of Hallmark's divine power. And so Hallmark's divine power can that, you know, it can go over, it transcends cheating, I think, in their mind.
Yeah.
So if she looks like Candace Cameron Bure, it's okay to cheat. That's basically what you're saying.
Well, it's basic. I just feel like Hallmark, like, I don't know, they almost like, they just spin the story, you know, like they'll make it like, oh,
they'll victimize her.
Or he has like a fiance or whatever, but she's bad to him, so it's okay. Or like they'll paint the fiance in like a bad light to make it seem like, oh, it's fine that they fall in love. And like,
yeah. And usually it's like, I feel like the fiance or whatever, or like the girl back home or whatever they depict her as pretty like successful. You know what I mean? It's not like,
not
oh, this like girl who's completely, it's like, oh, this girl's like a CEO of some, you know, fintech company in New York. So if you cheat on her, that's fine because she's still going to be the CEO of a fintech company in New York.
Yeah. Or like she doesn't really love him. Like she's not like soft. She's just kind of like they're just together for like material reasons. Whereas like the Hallmark love's supposed to be this like amazing thing.
I know my whole business is falling apart, but I love you.
Basically,
that's basically it.
Yeah. You know, I think it's, wow. I mean, but the thing is, I think people overlook it because like we were talking about earlier, where it's like Hallmark movies are so unrealistic. Like you're not going to get bothered by any of it because you don't believe in it.
Because you know black people exist in your town. I'm not woke, but Hallmark should probably cast more than one black character per film.
Well, Hallmark and like Netflix and stuff have all been making like different Christmas movies with minorities, or like where the star couples are minorities now.
Yeah, that one. Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, like you see, there's a easy middle ground because like I've seen a few of the Netflix ones, and there's one Netflix Christmas film where they have this one random black dude selling chestnuts, you know, roasted chestnuts, and it's like, listen, I'm sorry, like I want to suspend belief on a lot of things, but I have never in my life seen a black guy selling roasted chestnuts.
You're not in the right places. picks these. This is why Hallmark doesn't tell you what the towns are, like the small little towns that they pick, because then people would be like, that's not what like Asheville, North Carolina looks like. So they just have some random town that you could pick, any state and put it in. And maybe that town does have a black guy selling chestnuts. And who are you to say that they don't?
Wow, that took a turn. Huh.
That left us speechless.
Speechless, yeah. I mean, if you keep it ambiguous enough, no one can really ask questions.
You should be a screenwriter.
Thanks. Quitting my job as an engineer to become a Hallmark screenwriter.
If it pays more, why not?
It probably
does.
Which is so sad that it would.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a reason why they're pumping these things out until doomsday.
Yeah, I will say it's weird how it's like they do produce it like the demand is like increasing, and I feel like the demand really isn't. I mean, people will watch it, but they're not like, ooh, I wonder what Hallmark is going to put out this year, unless they are, and I just am unaware.
Have you heard of the Hallmark curve?
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
I'm so
I'm nervous.
I'm ready.
The Hallmark curve shows that during times of economic recession or civil division within a society, the number of people tuning in to watch Hallmark movies rises drastically. And when things are good, people are less likely to watch them.
So what you're saying is that Hallmark released coronavirus in the Wuhan lab in order to topple the economy to improve their profit.
I'm not going that far, but that would explain a lot of things.
Honestly, I'd buy it. I buy that conspiracy.
Hallmark did COVID.
Hallmark did COVID. Hashtag Hallmark did COVID. That is Hallmark created COVID. That's what the title of the episode.
I like Hallmark did better. I feel like it's fun. Hallmark did COVID.
That's what the history, but you know what?
It wasn't from Wuhan.
The history books will never report it because Hallmark probably owns the history book publishers. I don't know. I really feel like
I'm trying to think of like how Trump would call it, like the Kong flu. I'm trying to think of another word that fits Hallmark.
Hallmark, trashy cards. Could write better myself. Totally know they did COVID. No one was watching their movies. They wanted me to be in one, and I said no.
No, that's what I'm saying. That whole thing.
I think we just
prove us wrong.
Sleepy Joe Biden loves these films. The plots don't make sense. There's always like no black people. Lame.
I honestly think that we're on to something. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to get one of us soon, because like once this episode goes out, Hallmark is going to know that we're spreading this thing, and it's going to be like anyone who knows the Clintons, where you just end up dead one day. One of us is literally going to get hit by a gingerbread truck.
I need to change the topic fast.
I'm calling it now.
You heard it here, folks.
It was nice knowing everyone. Thanks, Remso, for having us. We just put a target on her head.
Megan, change the topic.
I really do think that we should just title it "Hallmark did COVID."
Hallmark did not.
Saying Hallmark did not.
How much have you been drinking?
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about listening to rats talk about conspiracy theories. This is the conspiracy theory.
Oh.
I
got what I wanted for Christmas. Yay, me.
Actually, interesting. Speaking of this, is like, I don't know why they didn't do this last year, but like a Hallmark COVID movie. Like everyone's sick of COVID now, but like back when like
quarantine for Christmas.
No, I heard that they purposely avoided putting like COVID into the movies because people were depressed about it. No one wanted to watch a movie about it.
That's true. Yeah. Good point. But it would have been interesting. I feel like it's like, those movies where like, or did you guys ever see that one? It was like 6 feet apart or something. It was like before COVID. So then it was like a big thing when COVID came out.
No, I saw that though. I saw the meme. Honestly, I feel like in a Hallmark movie. I was just gonna say. I'm just so.
This is the first episode I've ever done of this show where I feel more like the passenger than anything else. I have nothing to say. I'm just here for the ride. I'm just here for the ride because everything, like, my gosh.
I mean, I'm waiting for someone to submit proof that Hallmark did not do COVID.
Turns out they did 9/11 instead.
I mean, but there's no proof to show their innocence in anything, as far as I'm concerned. There could be a whole movie. You know how in any Avengers movie, there's always some like, this person's been like behind any major like catastrophe for the past like, millennia, and it would really just be Hallmark.
That's how they keep getting card ideas.
Yes.
They have like a slave army that will go ahead and distract people the moment they're getting like, tired of things and things are too good. And the Hallmark is like, sales are going down. We need another tragic event to make humanity suffer. Do the 9/11 one.
I think they just have like a thing, like a hat full of cards and they just pick from it. Or they do like a spin the wheel and it's like whatever, pandemic. They're gonna start
having computers just use AI to start coming up with card ideas, and they'll probably still sell.
100%.
Okay, I got changes.
Did the Biden admin?
No, we'll get removed. Please.
Okay. Remso's like, I thought Christmas would be a safe topic.
We found the boundaries. We finally found the boundaries.
He's like, I've been looking for so long.
What's with women always getting pregnant or engaged around Christmas?
We're the single Peaches, so we don't really have much to say on that.
I think a lot of it is one, you're always around, at least for the engagement, what I've heard is that like you're always just around family, and especially if you've been like dating someone for a long time, they're just going to keep asking you like, oh, when are you going to get married? So I feel like the guy feels like I have to just put a ring on her finger so my grandma doesn't ask for the billionth time when I'm going to propose.
No, they should double down and be like, well, grandma, when are you going to beat type 2 diabetes?
When are you going to
throw it back?
Boomerang it.
Like, bam.
I mean,
walk out.
Yeah, maybe not getting invited to Christmas next year. But I think that's why, honestly.
Yeah,
but I will say I don't like, because I've seen a lot of people, they'll get engaged on either Thanksgiving or Christmas Day. I don't want that. Like if you're at someone's house for Christmas, I feel like you're literally making it all about you if you get engaged on Christmas.
Yeah. Like if it's at your own place and it's like just between the two of you, that's one thing. But I don't know. I feel like it's like this whole show, like, look, family, we're engaged now.
It's like a Hallmark movie.
It is. It's literally a Hallmark movie.
Well, I just also feel like then it's like, instead of talking about Christmas and stuff for the rest of the day, now it's like, oh, you guys are engaged, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's like, there's a reason for the season.
Do you automatically go to hell for that if you're trying to take away attention from Jesus?
Yeah, literally on his big day, I think you probably do.
Yeah, I could see it. Plus, what if you get divorced? Then, like, Christmas, you're like, this is when I got engaged.
So then you're triggered every Christmas.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just celebrated Jesus' birthday as planned, you wouldn't have any
reason for the season.
Yeah.
How would either of you feel if your future fiancés proposed to you on Christmas or Christmas Eve? Would you be like, dude, you couldn't have done this yesterday or waited like another 24 hours?
Or just be like, no, you're not it. You don't love Jesus enough.
Yeah, exactly. You're not even a man of God. Get out.
Yeah, I just want a mog. You're not a mog. Mog is man of God. Remso looks lost, but emoji, Mog, man of God. And that's all we want for Christmas, actually. If we were doing a Christmas wish list, it'd be...
Honestly,
no, all I want...
That could be a Hallmark movie. All I want is a Mog for Christmas.
That'd be too, like... That'd have to be, like, whatever the Christian version of Hallmark is.
That's true.
Like, direct to VHS. Direct to VHS. You know, those VHS tapes are still being passed around Sunday schools across the country.
Oh my gosh, what's that one? Oh, Kevin Sorbo would somehow make his way into it. Because I feel like he always makes his way into those kind of movies.
Would be like
Kevin Sorbo. You know, I've met that man 4 times. And I like him. I've met him 4 times in my life. First time, gets my name wrong. Second time, doesn't remember me. Third time, gets my name wrong. Doesn't remember me. Fourth time, doesn't remember me.
Dang.
You
don't have an in and you can't ask him to be in this Christmas movie we're going to make?
I think he would honestly, like, he would make sense to me as, like, the father.
Maybe the dad.
Like, the daughter, you know?
100%. That's what he always is.
Of the guy, but, like, or change it up and he could be, like, the church pastor or something. I could see him as that.
He'd be like the small group leader or, like, the young adult.
Yeah, the, like, youth group leader.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever see God's Not Dead? Where he's his professor. I went on a date in college where I took a girl to go see that movie.
Wow, that's so wholesome.
So it was super based, yeah. So and what I remember, because we didn't pay much attention to the movie, there was one.
Tell me oh my! I think that puts you straight to hell.
Hey, I'm a gentleman. If she doesn't want to pay attention to the movie, I'm going to pay attention to her. So, you know, slide past that part. The one scene I do remember watching was the part where he grabs the kid in the hallway. He's like, "I've done my research on you. You're a pre-law major. What's that? A degree in good intentions?" And I'm like, what the? That's actually funny.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of iconic.
I was a pre-law major at the time. So like that was something I noticed. I'm like, did he just say that?
Amazing.
Greg, hold up.
This is actually about me.
I have to push her aside. I'm like, one second. Stop touching me. What did he say?
Can someone rewind it in the back of the theater?
You're like, I'm the star of the show.
I love how we just got into Kevin Sorbo movies.
Kevin Sorbo. I know Dallas Jenkins, who is the director for The Chosen.
Oh,
If anyone was going to make like a decent like Christian romance film that's like a Hallmark movie but actually good, he would probably do it. But he's also friends of Kevin Sorbo, so if he ever listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Remso, you fucked up."
He remembers you.
Yeah, and Kevin will be like, "I don't even know who he is."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Should we title this episode Kevin Sorbo Stole Christmas?
What if Kevin Sorbo did go?
How Kevin Sorbo stole Christmas.
I like Kevin Sorbo. I don't want
How Hallmark stole Christmas.
Oh my gosh. You would seriously break up with the dude if he proposed to you on Christmas? You wouldn't immediately revert to Hallmark mode?
I'm actually really bad at breaking up with people, so I probably wouldn't be able to, but I
wouldn't break up with him, but I feel like he would just know ahead of time not to do it.
Would you not want to break up with him right then and there because you don't want him to have his Christmas ruined forever?
Also, that's the thing too. It's like, you know what this reminds me of? Because I feel like, especially like, let's say he proposes to you in front of your entire family. If he proposes to you in front of your entire family, you like have to say yes because everyone's watching. And it's what it reminds me of is like in high school when a guy would like ask a girl to homecoming in front of like a huge group and she would have to say yes because otherwise she would look like mean. But then she would later
the bitches I asked never did that.
No, because I heard of someone who said yes. I can't remember who it was, but I think he like asked her like in front of like let's say they did cross country and he asked her like in front of the whole team or something. And so she said yes. And later she pulled him aside and was like, no. But she didn't want to look. That's
almost worse.
It is, but she didn't want to look bad because like you're putting her in such like a stressful situation.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of feel like that's like if you propose on Christmas, especially in front of like a big like family party or something, then it's like that person has to say yes.
Do they?
Because otherwise they look bad.
Do they though?
Yes.
Like, yeah. That would be
they don't have to, but they feel pressure to.
Megan, you opened up this Pandora's box. What's the worst way you've broken up with somebody?
Me? Oh, gosh. Well, no, okay, well, probably my first boyfriend I broke up with over text. But, like, we were only dating for, like, 3 weeks. I've apologized to him since. We're friends. He asked me for, like, girl advice. It's fine. That was probably the worst time I ever did. What I meant is, like, I am, like, one of those people, because I'm so all or nothing. It's really toxic that I'm, like, if I'm in a relationship with you, I could be pretty miserable in the relationship. But I'm, like, I'm with you. I'm staying till I get dumped, basically.
Damn, that's depressing.
That's not Hallmark love, Megan.
Well, because I'm just bad at. I feel like
that's
I'm
like Stephen King love.
Because I don't know. I'm just like bad at because I don't like change. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really happy, but at least I'm like comfy.
But are you even comfy in these situations?
That's like Catholic guilt to a new extreme. It's like, I could complain about this. But Jesus looking past your shoulder.
I mean, I'm not going to every relationship, just like a lot of them.
Would you dump a man on Christmas?
Maybe if he like cheated or something, or was like abusive, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
So you would wait until Christmas and then break up with him, so then you get back at him.
No, I'm not that clever or slick. I'm not like the best liar. Well, actually, I can lie when I like have to, but
is that a lie?
I don't know.
I don't even know what to believe from you anymore, Megan.
Maybe Hallmark did do 9/11. Where were you in February 2020? Why were you in Wuhan?
College. Probably drunk.
In February of 2020 was when I broke up with my last boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, so you waited until after Christmas.
I broke up with my last boyfriend the week after Valentine's Day, February 21st, 2020.
So you got all the gifts and then you broke up with him?
I didn't get any gifts.
Oh, no wonder you broke up with him.
But it was right before my birthday because my birthday's February 25th. So I kind of missed out on any potential birthday gifts. But he hadn't bought anything for me because, of course, he had it. So it's not like, oh, he has to return something now.
Honestly, my last couple relationships, the guy broke up with me right before his birthday. And I'm like, wow. Like the last two, it was like 2 weeks, both of them, 2 weeks before their birthday. So I feel like next guy dates, like his birthday has to already have passed,
like you gotta be in the clear.
That, what's her name? God's Not Dead girl, the girl I went with there. What?
Oh wait, the one you went on the date with?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the like main character.
Yeah, I thought you meant the actress.
No.
I thought you meant like the main because I remember wasn't the girl like really controlling in that movie? She
was basically a Hallmark fiance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's like, you have to stop debating this Kevin Sorbo like teacher, and he's like, no. Yeah,
don't tell him about your beliefs.
I think it's so funny how they have that whole like Muslim subplot throughout the film. And it's like, then they show her getting beaten and she's just like, I'm getting abused by my father. I've been kicked out. I'm going to go to like, I don't know, like what was it? A Toby Mac concert or something. And I see how they run into each other. It's like, listen, you look like you're a domestic abuse victim. And I just saw my professor, Kevin Sorbo, get hit by a truck, but maybe we should be together. God's not dead. He's surely alive. It's like this. Wait. We need to address some things right now. Is Kevin Sorbo dead? And he just went over because he's immediately single, and he's like, well, she doesn't go to this college, so why not? It's like
he doesn't really read the room.
No.
What is funny too, because didn't his girlfriend the one who got him the tickets? So he just like went without her, or did he get them for her?
Oh man, that's such a Chad move if he did that.
You know what I want to know is, I like watched that movie, but don't remember any of this. Y'all were really paying attention. Because I literally just remember them going, like, I remember them having their debates and going to the concert, but everything else escaped my memory.
Well, I watched it on DVD like a few years later because I was like, I only remember the one scene for reasons.
Tell us what you were going to say about the girl that you went with.
Oh, I was gonna say I was at Fort Knox at the time. I was going through my Army advance camp, and we didn't have our cell phones for like the entire time. We had them for like the first couple of days, and then we got them the week before graduation. But what we could do is we could let people know our address so that way they could send us letters. So that was really the only time I've ever gotten letters from people. And I gave her my address. I sent her my address, and she's like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and send you letters like the entire time. I didn't get a single freaking one.
Aww.
Find out the day I get my cell phone back, she's like, I think we should see other people. And I'm like, I'm going to tell every future boyfriend that you made out with me while you were watching God's Not Dead. Okay, I didn't say that. I was more like, what the hell? But, you know, I thought that.
It was karma for God's Not Dead.
I know. Oh! Oh! Oh, wow.
What?
Wow. Karma against me?
Yeah.
I can't really argue with that.
Yeah, I think
exposed. It was just the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, that's on you. That's on you, Remso.
You did that. Remso did that.
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. If she makes out with you during a Kevin Sorbo movie,
look at the Peachy Patriots. We're housewives now.
Listen, a wife to no one.
But we're housewife material.
Yeah, housewifey material.
Okay. So you're watching God's Not Dead 7, the Trump edition or something, because now they've gone political with it. The first one was the Muslim girl subplot. Oh no, the recent one was like We the People, and it's about like.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually,
it's like they made a second.
They made a fourth.
I didn't know that they made this many.
They're like the Left Behind movies. We know that one existed, but we forget the fact there were multiple sequels.
I mean, I guess the idea with God's Not Dead, it's like you can keep making movies because he's still not dead, you know? So you can just keep going.
Sometimes you need to ask, are you really making more people believe God, or are you just using God as an excuse to continue to make bad movies? Because after number one, which was not terrible, the rest were just like really weird. The recent one was like about QAnon or something. So okay, here's my question. So you're watching God's Not Dead 12, and you're on a date with a dude who you really like, and you're really vibing with each other. And he's like about to put the moves on you, and you would otherwise respond. Do you do it or not? Because of the movie.
You have to respect God. And I would like
to make me so.
What if God does not like that movie? He's like, I do not endorse this film.
No, but it's also for me.
He doesn't endorse the behavior.
I'm not going to be like in that kind of like mood if I'm watching a Kevin Sorbo movie. You know what I mean? But I think that says a lot about her and potentially some...
red flag.
Well, there were a ton of red flags. That was the first one. But I was like, I've done weirder things.
No, that's like a red flashing light. That's an alarm. Like, just stop. Like, evacuate the movie theater. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I should have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This makes a lot of sense now.
We're connecting all the dots.
Basically, whenever you have a relationship problem or question, just call up Peachy Patriots. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Or like the COVID conspiracy. We'll
9/11. We've got a few minutes left. I don't know where to take this.
I have a really good question, I think.
Shoot.
What is everyone's favorite Christmas movie on this podcast?
Die Hard.
Did you just say that because you watched the recent Netflix movie where she says that's her favorite Christmas movie?
No, because it's
why would he
objectively
have
the
seen
best.
Love Hard? Why would he have seen that?
I don't know.
There's a movie called Love Hard.
Yes,
because
Netflix. It's basically a Hallmark movie, but like on Netflix and like slightly less cheesy. It's really funny. It's pretty stupid, but it's funny.
And it does have a minority. The main guy.
No. Does it have
Asians.
2 or more?
Technically 2 because the one guy's Asian American and then the other guy's Asian.
Yeah.
BLM told me that Asians are white people.
Yeah, apparently at University of Maryland they are now, but in Alabama they for sure aren't. So anyways, I don't know. Honestly, I really like the Charlie Brown Christmas movie. I know that's really basic, but I really like that. I also like the original Grinch, like the animated version, but I really don't like the Jim Carrey one.
Jim Carrey, that he turned that into like a pseudo horror film.
No, I'm not lying, like 100%. I had nightmares for, I'd say, 5 years as a child after watching his version of
I thought he was real.
It's just it's creepy. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And the fact also that the Grinch doesn't wear pants, like, why not? I don't know.
Well, you also have to ask, is he really a man? And if he's a man, is he just really cold?
I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. And I don't know.
Megan is trying really hard not to process that.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, for a male Grinch, he's not anatomically correct.
That's why I'm like, why isn't he wearing pants? It's like Squidward and SpongeBob just doesn't wear pants, and no one questions it.
I mean, well, SpongeBob wears pants, but Squidward doesn't. But squids don't. Okay, we got to change that.
The rest.
So you like Charlie Brown?
Yeah. Megan, what's your
what
favorite?
About you?
See, mine, I feel like it's just my favorite movie in general. It's not really a Christmas movie, but like it kind of ends on Christmas. But When Harry Met Sally, because there's like a couple funny Christmas scenes in it. So like my mom and I was watching on Christmas time, but it's not really a Christmas movie though.
Oh, you know what? I actually want to change mine. Have either of you ever seen Love Actually?
I've seen 30 minutes of
it. They like reference it in that Love Hard movie, so I feel like I've seen it.
Okay, Love Hard is a combination of Love Actually and Die Hard. That's where the name.
I gotta watch this film.
From. It's not a combination. It's just the name is a combination.
Love Actually is probably one of the funniest films ever made. I could probably say that too. Like it's a Christmas rom-com, but like you could watch it throughout the year, and it's a pretty good standalone film. And it's basically one of those movies where there are a bunch of characters who have separate story arcs. Well, you got to see it through the end. But you remember the prime minister? Remember the secretary who works for Colin? I don't think it's Colin Firth. Colin Firth is the other guy. Anyway, some other British actor. He becomes prime minister, and he has that incredibly hot secretary, but people keep calling her Plumpy, and it's like. I don't understand. And that's the running joke. You don't understand why, because they're like, oh, she's kind of cute for a plump girl. And it's like, they say this around her.
Oh gosh.
And at one point he takes her to go see his sister's kid's Christmas play. And this is when all the characters start to you start to realize how they're connected. So like the one woman whose husband is about to have an affair with her, you find out that her brother is the prime minister. So they've been having different story arcs and they all meet up at the end. So he brings the secretary who he's in love with now to the Christmas play and she meets the sister and she's like, oh, you're Dave. I think the prime minister's name was David. It's like, oh, you're David's date. You know, he's always had a thing for plump girls and everyone just like, why do you keep calling her that? Because like she's just a very She's a very attractive, curvy woman, but they keep calling her that. And it's just like, my gosh, like, and they do it in public. Like, it's not going to hurt her feelings, but you see her like trying really hard to keep it together. I'm like, this woman's going to punch somebody.
Dude, that would not be a PC these days.
Yeah, really. That actually, Loki, something like
why
that.
is it rated R? I just looked it up. It's rated R.
I can tell you why it's rated R.
Oh. Never mind.
When you watch that movie, did you watch it on TV or did you watch it on DVD?
Wait, which one?
I watched it on
actually.
I think like on Amazon Prime or something.
Okay, so depending on what version you watched, there's like an additional 15 minutes to the R-rated version.
Oh, wait, no, I actually did. I remember seeing this part. I don't remember what happened, but I remember.
The porn stars.
Yes.
The porn stars are taken out of the television version.
What was the point of putting that in the movie, though?
I don't know, because
I used to give it the R rating, I guess.
Yeah, because like I've seen it, and like it's very much like, what am I watching now? I actually like the censored version more, because the one where they take out the two porn stars who start dating each other, it just gets straight into, okay, like how did they put this in a movie? So like I actually do like the censored version of that, because it's like this just kind of takes it in a different direction where it's like, this is not the most appropriate story for this.
I gotta say, I know a lot of people that's their favorite.
That's my mom's
one of my best guy friends. I remember he once was like, "We should watch Love Actually. It's my favorite Christmas movie." And I watched it and was so bored. I think I like fell asleep or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
What were you gonna say a second ago, Megan?
I don't know if it's as funny as I think it is in my head, but
you have to try now.
Do you guys know if like you guys know the brand of shorts that are called Chubbies? They're like these really short shorts.
For dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's this guy at my college that I like went on a couple dates with, and he was super into these chubby shorts. Like, he was like a Chubbies ambassador for these guys. Like, he was so like he wore them all the time. He talked like it was like his whole personality trait. And so I told my like best friend, like, oh, like, Adam and I like went out the other night or whatever. And she goes, oh, he's really into Chubbies. And I literally looked down and was like, what do you mean? She was like, no, that's I was like, oh.
But also, why would that be the first thing she would tell you about? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's still obsessed with that. It's like, oh, these are his favorite shorts.
She was like, oh, the one who's really into Chubbies? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, these. And she like pulled up his Instagram. Our friends, like, we joke about this all the time. Because she's like the sweetest person. She didn't mean it, how I took it. But first, she's like, your face was priceless. You were like, what do you mean?
If that didn't give a person a complex, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Your story about being plump made me think of that. So I felt like I should share.
Wow.
I'm glad it is funny. I was like, if this falls flat.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you, my life is just like a bad rom-com.
You got to turn this into a book. You gotta just take notes over time, honestly. And then just fictionalize some things.
Money off of it.
Yes. Oh my gosh! Any last minute things?
I think after that note, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm excited to see whatever you title this. I feel like we're always surprised by the title, and it's always a pleasant surprise.
It's always so funny.
I have so much fun with you two. People are like, oh, there's this. I'm trying to find a way to put it because I'm still getting over it. He really likes Chubbies. Shoot, I'll remember at like 3 a.m. or something. But no, it's always so great having you two on. It's always a blast. If people want to go ahead and check out your podcast, how could they do so?
Well, we're anywhere podcasts are. You know how everyone, when they're selling a book, they're always like, my books, anywhere books are sold. I always feel like that's such a dumb thing to say. So we're any podcast where you can listen to us. But no, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Google one. Do you have any others, Brad?
The stuff.
I don't know.
The stuff.
Yeah, we're on them.
We're on the internet.
Things.
Yeah,
Peachy Patriots.
Follow us on Instagram at Peachy Patriots because we do a lot of wine tastings when we're together.
And we do a lot of polls, and our polls can get kind of heated, I think.
Yeah, our polls are pretty interesting.
When are you gonna invite me on an episode where the three of us can on like on a Friday or Saturday just get completely sloshed during a recording?
I was literally gonna say like to Raj because we've actually never had a guest on our show. I was like, when are we gonna have Remso on our show? Like,
oh my gosh!
Like we need
yes.
to. You should come on a Christmas episode first because we only have had guests come to like bonus birthday episodes, like, and they're always with our star sign. Wait, Remso, what's your star sign?
What the hell is that?
When's your birthday?
December 13th, 1994.
Okay, so you're a Sag.
He's a Sag.
Oh, a Sagittarius?
Yeah.
Oh, those things. Yeah, he's the half horse guy.
Okay.
Bow and arrow.
We for both of our birthdays, like I'm a Leo and Ratch is a Pisces. So we had on our Pisces friend for Ratch's birthday. And then we had on my friend Josh for my birthday because he's a Leo. And we just talked about like what it means to be a Leo and like who Leos are compatible with. And like same thing with Pisces. And so those are the only times we've had guests. That's what I'm saying. But you should come on our show for like a regular time.
Okay, only if we could drink during it.
Always. I mean, I drink.
I'm doing dry December, but I will.
Said I was, and I lasted till December 2nd.
Megan, are you drinking wine right now?
Yeah. Did you not notice? You didn't notice because it was the whole episode. I was like, shoot, I didn't tell Raj that I already gave up on dry December, and I feel like she's gonna judge me.
Okay,
I mean,
Rachel, you could be the sober one. You could be the sober one, and me and Megan will just be drinking.
Okay, I'll drive the episode if I'm sober.
The designated host. Oh, that'll be so fun. Well, anyway, folks, be good, be safe, have a Merry Christmas, and thank you once again for another awesome year of 104 episodes. It's been a lot of ups and downs and weird turns, and I never knew I would ever wonder whether or not Hallmark created coronavirus or caused 9/11, but aren't we better people for now thinking that? I don't know. Looking forward to talking to y'all later. Good night.